What's up, guys? This is Julian. I hope you all have been doing well. Been well since my last video. I've been pretty busy. Just was out of town for a little bit this past week as well. So, yeah, definitely been a hot minute since I last uploaded a video. But here we are again. This is now season 11, and I have here today a Ultra League team. Now, this is the Open Ultra League, by the way. So this isn't like any Remix Cup or any like Ultra League Premier Classic or anything like that. This is the Open Ultra League, and yeah, I have a team here that's actually built by another content creator called PoGo Grind. So if you guys want to check out some of his content, you can feel free to take a look at his channel, give him a sub, or give him a like as well if you'd like to. But in the meantime, if you guys wouldn't mind, you guys can feel free to give this video a like, give it a thumbs up, and hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell for any future content that I might put out. I'll be doing a lot more content just like this. So the team that he showcased in one of his top teams for the Ultra League is actually this one that I'm going to be showcasing today. So it's actually a Walrein in the lead, and then Cress as the safe swap, and then Giratina-Altered in the back. Walrein basically is weak to fighting types, and then Cresselia and Giratina both do very well against fighting types. So this is a standard ABB sort of team. So again, you have one Pokemon in the lead that is weak against certain type, and then you'll have two Pokemon in the back that will cover that type to hopefully draw out the hardest counter to the Walrein. But as you can see, there are a couple Pokemon here that will give this team some trouble. Something like an Obstagoon or something like a Scrafty, because they'll also do pretty well against the Cresselia and the Giratina as well. But through a team effort, you are definitely able to take them down and hopefully get the win. And the plus side with these three Pokemon is that they're all quite bulky, so you can definitely outlast a big majority of the meta here right now. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into these battles and see how I did here. And these battles, I did record a 5-0 set, and I must say that this team is really bulky. It didn't disappoint one bit. So in this first battle, we have a pretty bad lead, which is Walrein up against a Lucario. So I'm going to immediately safe swap into my Cresselia here, which still isn't really the greatest matchup here with the Shadow Ball potentially coming from the Lucario. So I'm actually going to let the Lucario fire off that move, which is the Shadow Ball. So that does hit the Cresselia for quite a bit of neutral big damage. So now going to be firing off a Moonblast and seeing what this Lucario wants to do. So they do end up giving up a shield here, which is pretty nice. And they respond with a Gliscor. So I'm going to go straight for the Moonblast right here. Again, both of these are going to be doing neutral damage here against the Gliscor. And I think Moonblast does hit a little bit harder here than the Grass Knot. So I am going to let this move go. At this point, Cresselia has pretty much done its job. So I'm going to basically just chip this as much as I can here, and then let Walrein tank the energy from the Gliscor and farm down. So as you can see here, I'm able to reach one more Grass Knot before the Cresselia goes down. I wouldn't have been able to make it to the Moonblast in time, so this does get the Gliscor in the yellow, and I'm going to immediately come back in with Walrein and start loading up on energy here. Now, the Gliscor is at a move, and this will be an Earthquake, but luckily the Walrein can survive it, and yeah, I don't want to give the Lucario too much farm here, so that's why I wanted to, tank it. But they actually do come in with a Lapras, which is a pretty big problem as well. So I am going to have to stay into this matchup here versus the Lapras, because again, the Lapras will be doing pretty big damage to the Giratina, and I'm also kind of worried if they do have Ice Beam. So I'm actually going to swap into the Giratina here just to get some use out of it right now. I will have to tank a Shadow Ball or two just in case, but they actually do end up going for a Power Punch bait here, which is quite surprising, but I ended up no shielding that, and that's actually fine with me. So I'm going to actually go for a Shadow Sneak now, which is going to either get the Lucario here pretty low, or it's going to get the shield. So it does get the shield, which is great for me. I'm going to build up a little bit more energy, and I'm going to let this next move go. If it's a Shadow Ball, so be it, but so they do end up throwing the Shadow Ball here, which nearly takes me out. And I am going to be able to get off one last Shadow Sneak here before I get taken out by the Lucario. So the Shadow Sneak will be doing, will be KOing the Lucario here, and I'm able to do a tiny bit of Shadow Claw damage here. So now it's basically 2 shielded Walrein against the Lapras. So I will have to shield this first Surf here. I don't want it to, and I will need 2 Earthquakes at this point to take out the Lapras. So I'm going to have to be very careful with my energy management. So here I decide to no shield because I know that the Surf won't be able to KO me just yet. So I am able to reach an Earthquake right here, and you notice that I also throw in the middle of their Ice Shard animation, and that means that they are not able to sneak another fast move through. So at this point, you can see that now it takes 2 Earthquakes to take down the Lapras. So the Lapras is going to have to throw here, and I do have the last shield, so I'm going to have to use it. And now it's going to be a race here between the last Surf from the Lapras or my Earthquake. So I'm able to reach the Earthquake on pretty much almost 1 HP, and this is definitely going to be taking out the Lapras from this point. So that was a very, very close game and very well played to my opponent there. So as you can see, I was able to make my way back from a very difficult lead. And again, you're going to see more of that here in this video coming up. So in this next battle here, we have Walrein in the lead here versus, there we go. That's what I was talking about in the beginning of the video, Scrafty. So Scrafty is one of the most challenging leads that I can face with this team. So what I'm going to try to do here is to chip as much as I can with the Icicle Spear, but they do end up CMP tying me here, which is unfortunate. So I will be throwing this Icicle Spear once they throw their Power-Up Punch. So this is going to be doing some nice chip damage here to the Scrafty, but this is still a pretty bad situation. So I'm going to swap out to Cresselia and see what they want to do here. So they actually do swap into an Umbreon, which is also pretty bad. But luckily I do have Moonblast here. So this is actually a pretty good thing that I'm seeing the Cresselia here against the opposing Umbreon. So they do actually shield the Moonblast here, which is a little bit surprising for me. Now they are going to be throwing foul plays here. Again, this is going to be chipping away my Cresselia, doing some nice super effective damage to it, but there isn't really much to worry about here. So I'm going to be overcharging just a tiny bit just after they throw one Snarl, and then just go for another Moonblast here. This is going to start chipping away at the Umbreon. So they're going to be throwing a couple more Snarls, and then they're going to be going for yet another foul play here. So again, this is going to be doing some nice chip damage here to my Cresselia. Definitely not enough to KO just yet. So I'm going to throw another Moonblast. I did catch a move on the Walrein though, so I actually do wanted to bait back out the Scrafty and try to get some use out of the Giratina and the Cresselia here. So as you can see, the Scrafty comes back, and I do reach another move again just before I get to, so they actually do CMP time me again here for the Power Punch, which is unfortunate. And again, this doesn't KO, so I'm going to be throwing the Icicle Spear here right away, again, just doing some nice chip damage here to the Scrafty. So as you can see, there isn't really one single Pokemon here that is a reliable check to a Scrafty. So as I mentioned before, it is pretty much a team effort to take it out. And what would have been better here is that, as you can see, my Giratina-Altered is actually running Shadow Claw. Now, if my Giratina were running Dragon Breath, this would actually be a much better matchup here against the Scrafty. But the drawback with this is that it will lose against Steel types, like Registeel, whatnot, and Melmetal. I do correctly call the foul play here, so I'm able to get the shield. I'm able to shield up the foul play, so I'm going to be going for the Dragon Claw right away, just to see if I can take out this Scrafty. They do end up surviving with the 1 HP, and if they do come in with the Umbreon, then But they actually do come in with a Crobat here, which surprised me quite a bit. This would have been a much better matchup for the Umbreon to come into the Giratina, but surprisingly enough, they do come in with a Crobat. So the Crobat here is actually going straight Poison Fang, which is a little bit surprising, but I see what they're trying to do here. They're trying to increase their damage of the Air Slashes, but again, Giratina-Altered is really bulky. So they should at least be building up to the Shadow Ball here just to at least force a shield from me. But since they're going straight Poison Fangs, I do not need to shield anything here from the Crobat. So they do CMP time me here to another Poison Fang, but again, I'm not going to shield anything here. And then they're going to throw the Poison Fang, and I'm going to get off this Dragon Claw here. So once again, they're going to either have to shield if they want to keep this Crobat alive, but they don't. So I'm actually going to try to catch another move into the Cresselia here, but unfortunately the game does lag, so I do end up throwing the Dragon Claw here at the Umbreon. Again, this is not going to be doing too much damage. Just going to start chipping it at this point. I'm going to have to swap back at this point. And at this point, my only win condition is for them to shield the bait. But unfortunately, they actually called a Grass Knot bait, which is not good for me at all. And then I also noticed that the timer is coming down pretty quickly. So I will have to give up a shield here. And hopefully I'm able to make it to another move just before. But yeah, actually the timer runs out. So because I have my 2 Pokemon left and they only have their Umbreon, I'm able to somehow win this game by timeout. So that was a great game. Well played to my opponent. Okay, so for our next battle, we have Walrein in the lead versus a Swampert. So this is actually great because all of my Pokemon in this team can deal with Swampert pretty well. So what I'm going to do here is start chipping away at the Swampert with an Icicle Spear. Again, throwing just before they reach an potential Earthquake here. So I'm going to be starting to chip the Swampert here, but they actually do shield, which was pretty surprising, And then we have some nice little Go Battle lag. I'm able to get the energy back here, as well as the opponent, probably some mutual lag. Unfortunate that Niantic hasn't really done much to fix the lag and whatnot, but it is what it is. So I actually catch a move here on the Cresselia, which is okay. So I did catch an Hydro Cannon, actually. So they built up to the Earthquake, but apparently they threw Hydro to bait or something like that. So now I'm going to continue to farm up, and the opponent tried to catch a Grass Knot onto the Giratina, so I held onto the energy and I'm able to get off a Moonblast here against the Giratina, which is great for me. And they do end up shielding, but I do get the attack drop here, which is quite nice for me. There's no reason for me to shield anything here now from this Giratina, just because again their attack got lowered, and Dragon Claws aren't really going to do too much here, even though the Shadow Claws are starting to kind of rack up a tiny bit here just for some super effective damage. But the Giratina is going to continue to go for Dragon Claw after Dragon Claw. Nothing really that they can do here at this point. And then the Cresselia is going to be able to get off another Moonblast here to take out that gear, to do some heavy damage actually against the Giratina. So there isn't really much that they can do. I'm going to be throwing another one right away just to get the Giratina out of the way, and this Moonblast will be taking out that Giratina. And then there isn't really much that they can do left, and they do have a Togekiss in the back. So I do have my Walrein aligned with this thing, so it's able to put in some work. And then gonna go for the Icicle Spear just right here. They do CMP time me here with the Ancient Power, but I will respect it and shield it just because I don't want this Togekiss to go up against my Giratina. I'm going to have to commit the shield here and then fire off the Icicle Spear to do some nice heavy super effective damage to this Togekiss. So not enough to take it out yet. I'm going to be able to get some farm, and the opponent realizes that it's over, and they do decide to surrender and concede the match. So that was a great game. Well played to my opponent. Now we're moving on to the next battle. Okay, so we have Walrein in the lead versus another Swampert. So again, as I mentioned in the last battle, all my Pokemon here can deal with Swampert pretty well. There isn't really a need here to swap out just yet. Gonna again go for an Icicle Spear right away just to either do some nice chip damage or hopefully get a shield, but the Swampert does let this damage go. Now I'm going to fire off another Icicle Spear right away here. Again, I don't have the shield. I can take an Earthquake perfectly fine if they do end up throwing an Earthquake, which they do. So this is perfectly okay for me here. I'm actually going to throw another Icicle Spear here just to either start forcing a shield or get some nice chip damage. So they do let this one go as well. I'm going to build up a little bit more energy, and then I'm actually going to let this move go. It's only going to be a Hydro Cannon here, which will not take out the Walrein just yet. And then they actually do swap into a Talonflame, so I do have to swap out right away to Cresselia. Now, this isn't really a great matchup here for the Cresselia because of the resistances for the Talonflame with the Grass Knot and the Moonblast are both resisted here from the Talonflame. If the Cresselia had Future Sight, it would have been a little bit of a better matchup here against the Talonflame, but I actually prefer the Grass Knot and Moonblast just for the better overall coverage, as Psychic again does have a resistance to Dark type moves. So going to be continuing to throw Moonblast here against this Talonflame, and again there's no reason for me to shield here in this matchup. They'll continue to ramp up their attack with the flame charges, and again just going to be continuing to throw Moonblast right here. I'm going to be throwing the next one right now. Hopefully this either gets a shield or continues to do some nice damage to the Talonflame. So they actually do shield this one, which is fine. And I'm actually able to get to one more Moonblast right here. And the Talonflame looks like it got a little bit greedy. So it overfarmed just a little bit. Now they no shield this one, and I'm actually going to swap right away into the Walrein just to force their hand here. Do they want to shield or do they want to let the Talonflame go? So they do end up shielding this one, which is okay with me. And I do reach another Icicle Spear, so they do have to throw right away in order for them to not get hit with another Icicle Spear. So good move by them, but that's fine with me. I'm going to let that move go. I'm going to, at this point, farm with Giratina, and I do have to be careful about the potential Brave Bird from the Talonflame, so I am going to commit one shield here. And as you can see, the Talonflame is on a move, and I will have to respect the Brave Bird, so I will commit the shield here at this point. Although they do unfortunately go for a Flame Charge bait, but that's fine. So at this point, I'm hoping that whatever is in the back also doesn't really want to see the Giratina. And it's actually an Excadrill, and at this point there's like a bunch of lag, so I'm not really quite sure what's happening here. Maybe the opponent lagged out for a little bit, but I do see that they're coming back again. They threw a few mud slaps here, and yeah, they're just trying to get back into it. So there's still some nice amount of lag here, but I'm going to be continuing to go for Shadow Sneak after Shadow Sneak against this Excadrill, and I did see that they're getting back to it now, and now they're able to throw a charge move here, which is going to be the Drill Run here against the Giratina for some nice damage. But again, I don't have to shield anything here at this point, and they do try to catch back onto Swampert, and I also tried to catch a move from the Cresselia and failed pretty badly there, but at this point the game is pretty much over, so there isn't really much my opponent can do here at this point. I'm just going to be taking out the Swampert here with a Dragon Claw. Again, after some nice little lag, you love to see it, and at this point there isn't really much that the Excadrill can do against the Giratina, so I'm just going to be going for a Shadow Sneak here. That'll be almost enough to take out the Excadrill, and then actually it does take out the Excadrill here, so that is a great game. Well played to my opponent there. Now we're moving on to the next battle here. Alright, so we have Walrein in the lead versus a Venusaur. This is actually an okay matchup for Walrein, but I'd rather bail out of this one whenever I can. So what I'm going to try to do here is catch a move on the Cresselia, and I actually failed to do so, so that's actually unfortunate, but that's okay. And they actually tried to catch a Moonblast onto the Empoleon, but I'm able to hold on here and start going for some Grass Knots here for some nice neutral damage against the Empoleon. So I'm just going to continue to farm here. I'm going to be throwing on pretty good timing here. just right when they reach 5 hydro cannons, and it takes 5, actually, excuse me, 5 waterfalls rather. So 5 waterfalls is when Empoleon can reach a hydro cannon or a drill peck, as it takes the same amount of energy. So they overfarm just a little bit, and then they're going to be throwing a hydro cannon against the Cresselia here. So going to be continuing to build up energy a little bit here, and I'm going to be throwing at their third waterfall, I guess. So at this point, they're almost at back-to-back. So going to be throwing the next grass knot here. They do end up shielding, and I'm going to actually shield as well, just in case that they have something in the back that doesn't really want to see the Cresselia. So I'm going to be shielding this next hydro cannon, seeing what they want to do. And I'm going to be throwing another grass knot here right away after over farming just a tiny bit to either take out this Empoleon or get the last shield. And at this point, they do let the Empoleon go, which is fine. And they come in with an Avalugg. So this is actually perfect. What I'm going to do here is get off the grass knot, and I don't think I would have been able to get to the Moonblast here against the Avalugg. This is going to be doing some small chip damage here, which is fine. So I do have the alignment that I want here at this point. So what I'm going to do is come in with the Walrein, and what I'm going to do is go for the Earthquake right here in the middle of their Ice Fang animation, and this way they can't catch it, so they're going to have to shield or take some damage. But they do let this go, and I can take any move here from the Avalugg. They actually go for a Avalanche, which isn't the right play, but they do come into the Venusaur though, and I do have to shield up this Frenzy Plant, but luckily I still have the Giratina in the back here, so what I'm going to do now is swap into the Giratina and basically no shield whatever this Venusaur throws. At this point, I'm going to use Giratina as a meat shield here against the Venusaur, just tanking move after move that it throws, because every move that Venusaur has that they can throw against Giratina is going to be resisted, whether it be the Frenzy Plant, which as you can see doesn't do a lot of damage just because Giratina is so bulky. And then Sludge Bomb, same thing. It's not going to, again, do too much damage here against the Giratina. So I'm going to be overfarming as much as I can, and then just start throwing some Dragon Claws again. Now, they don't have to shield because they know that they can get farm on Avalugg, but for whatever reason, they do decide to shield the Venusaur here. So I'm going to be overfarming just a tiny little bit more and go for another Dragon Claw. And this is definitely going to take out the Venusaur, and the Avalugg's going to come back in here at this point. So I'm going to be throwing another move here on the Avalugg, which is just going to be the Dragon Claw, and then I can safely swap back into the Walrein and finish this game off here. So at this point, this game is over, and then the Avalugg's now in Icicle Spear range, so the Walrein is able to get to it and get to this Icicle Spear, which is going to be more than enough here to take out the Avalugg at this point. So that is a great game. Well played to my opponent. And yeah, that was the final battle. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys wanted a excellent team to help climb rank, I think this is a very, very solid one. This really is actually a little bit more of an expensive team though, because you do need 2 legendaries here. But both of these legendary Pokemon are definitely well worth the investment. Really, really key Pokemon here in the Ultra League meta, especially with the Cresselia and the Giratina. Again, both of these are known for their bulk, and of course Walrein has been meta breaking and meta defining here for the last season now. And yeah, it's been so fun to run this team. Again, super bulky, very, very good matchups against most of the meta. So if you guys want a strong team to climb ranks, definitely go with this one in the Ultra League. And again, this is the Open Ultra League. So again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. And again, if you do like this type of content, feel free to go ahead and give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and get the hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos like these. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.